You're listening to Turi Writer's She Said What podcast. I'm Turi, along with Marcy Persky. In this installment, a lot of the small things of domestic life can give you trouble, and we're having trouble with all of them at once. You should also know that the Turi Writer's She Said What podcast is now up on YouTube. So if you're one of those people who works in an office and likes to look busy while enjoying the Turi Writer's She Said What podcast, check us out there. If you don't get something right the first time, do you remember how you used to keep coming back and trying it again and going, okay, well, I'll get to it this week, or I'll call them about the thing they'd sent that was half of a thing. And then now, this may or may not be happening to you when you get the thing and just as an example, one of a dozen examples, I have some headphones that need fixing. And I called up the place that has the parts and I said, if I order the part, does it come with the front and the back? And the guy said, yeah, it looks like it's two pieces. So I ordered two different sets of these things that fix my headphones. And I got two halves of two different sets. And for three weeks, I've been thinking, I should call these people. This is ridiculous. But I'm now at the point in my life where I'm like, it's just too much. So
I do like math in my head and see, well, how much did I spend and is it worth all this aggravation? And eventually I come after a couple of weeks, I'm like, eh.
I'm getting to that point. I have some stuff I bought for my congregation. I put together a lunch and I could swear I saved all the grocery receipts because there's a budget for it. I can find one out of three of the three places I shop.
In the last couple of years,
yeah.
If I found all the lost receipts that I never turned in, like when I was working for the cat rescue, or stuff that I got that turned out to be that I didn't bother to return.
Yep,
I probably have several $100, but I don't even think about that.
Yeah, it's easy not to think about it. Yeah,
there's so many things that, you have to prioritize in life. I actually missed a big priority this morning.
Really?
Yes.
What was it?
So I was wearing a new pair of jeans. And when I put them on, they fit perfectly. And there are belt loops on these jeans. And I said to myself, well, I should probably wear a belt because my pants always fall down
because you have no ass. Yes, I know, no ass.
But yeah, back when showing your butt crack was in style, that was just me walking down the street in hopefully a long shirt. So I put on these new jeans. I went to my appointment, and as I was leaving, I felt them kind of slipping.
Oh no!
Both of my hands were full.
Oh no!
And I'm like, okay, I can make it to the car.
Oh no!
And the pants are going further and further down. And I said, okay, I'm going to catch them at the knees. So I have my knees stuck together, just moving my feet.
Yeah, wait a minute. What about the rest of your butt and your all of that is hanging out as you get to the car?
I can't hold them up on my butt because I don't have one. I mean, they were just by the time I got to my car, the crotch was hanging at my knees like those rapper guys that you see walking down the street.
Well, what's the underwear situation like for you?
I was wearing some.
Oh, good. That's good.
But I had a long shirt on.
Oh.
So I looked like a Halloween costume maybe or something.
You look like one of those 2-year-olds who needs a diaper change is what you look like.
Exactly.
Oh.
But I'm frantically holding my knees together and shuffling through this parking.
What was so important that you couldn't put it down, pull up your pants?
I'd have to bend over.
No, you haven't perfected the knees together bunny dip? You didn't have to learn the bunny dip I guess you were never a cocktail waitress.
No, I was not. I was a bartender.
Yeah. Well, then you were obscure. Nobody would have seen your falling down pants as a bartender.
Exactly. And the thing is, this happens on a regular basis. Like, I take my pants out of the washing machine, put them on, they fit fine. And then we go somewhere and I'm not wearing a belt, and all of a sudden my pants are falling down. So you'd think I would learn at this ripe old age
Yes.
that I need to wear belts. And I have a whole bunch, I have a drawer full of belts, but it just seems like such a hassle to pull one out and put one on.
You know what's going to happen now because the podcast is growing? People are going to offer to send you belts. No, actually, you know what they're going to do? They're going to want to know where you shop, and they're all going to show up with cameras. Did anybody take your picture?
It's going to wind up on Facebook or
Yeah.
YouTube, and someone's going to win $100,000 from America's Funniest Home Videos. At least I'm not falling down.
I was just going to say, but you didn't fall down, so you're automatically excluded from America's Funniest Home Videos.
But yes, every step I was like praying, don't fall down, don't fall down. Please don't let my pants fall down on my ankles.
I have a problem that is similar but different in origin, and that is that I have elastic in a lot of my skirts and the occasional pair of pants. And I don't throw those things in the dryer, but occasionally the spousal unit does. And there's nothing worse for elastic than going through a hot dryer. But you don't always know that it's about to dissolve until you've been wearing it for a little bit. So I have had it happen. I go to the swimming pool in these elastic waists. They're kind of like sweatpants, but not. And I got out of the pool and I put these pants on and I realized that they had no remaining elastic. So I cleverly shoved all my swim stuff to one side and I hitched the other side up and I looked like somebody with a physical disability, kind of shuffle, limping, hopping down the street to the car. But at least I didn't have to suffer the indignity of having my underwear in full view of everyone.
That's why I wear long shirts.
Yeah, especially since when I leave the pool, I usually have remembered to bring underwear because I show up in the pants over the suit. But occasionally I have forgotten the towel and or the underwear. So.
Well, I went through, I don't know, on a whim just a couple of weeks ago, I went through my husband's underwear drawer. I think he has underwear that he's had since college. I started pulling them out, and there's like no elastic.
Right. That's when you throw it away. Yeah.
Yeah. Like what you're talking about. So I just started throwing his underwear away. And when I get done, he had like 3 pairs of underwear left. And I thought, I'm not going to do laundry every 3 days just so you have underpants. So I ordered him a bunch off of different, websites, like little cartoon faces.
Oh, I'm sure he's going to so appreciate the little cartoon faces on his underwear.
I got him some with like little bananas.
Oh, he's going to really appreciate that.
Eric Cartman from South Park.
Oh, lovely.
Like, Cupid shooting a little arrow.
Fantastic.
But yes, now he's got fancy underpants. So, but I had this whole bag and I'm like, dude, how did you wear these?
Yeah, it's weird the kind of the things that guys will do to avoid shopping for socks and underwear.
Yep.
I did the same thing with the spousal sock drawer. There were pairs of socks where there was no fabric remaining in the heel whatsoever.
Yep, same thing.
And I'm like, what are you doing with no heeled socks? We are not, thank God, impoverished. We can buy socks. And then the other thing he does that's really weird is he buys a lot of it, but he won't throw out the stuff that's no good. So eventually you can't even close the drawer because it's all kind of mixed together in this Cuisinarted underwear fiesta
Yes. That's why I went through the underwear drawer, because all his dressers and clothing are here in my studio. So it's kind of within my realm.
Yes, it is. Why, yes, it is. If it's within your realm, you get to throw it out or make a rag out of it.
Exactly.
It is interesting. Like Frankie is willing to be dressed by you. The spousal unit goes hot and cold. Sometimes he's compliant. Like we were going to the theater last night and he was putting on some dress shoes, except that I noticed he was putting them on over wool hiking socks. And I said, what are you doing? And he said, well, getting dressed. And I said, yeah, I can see that, but you're wearing like wool sweat socks under dress shoes. Well, they're not athletic socks. We're going to argue this point? I mean, is there a conversation we're supposed to be having about this?
When Frankie and I first got married, 16 years ago?
Yeah.
I bought him a pair. I noticed that all he ever wore were work boots, or when he got dressed up, cowboy boots.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Well, you do live in Arizona, so that's allowable.
Yes, we do. But I bought him a pair of what do you call skate shoes, gym shoes, tennis shoes, whatever you want to call them. Just brown with a stripe on them, really plain. And he said, I don't wear these. He put them on. He loved them. This was 16 years ago.
Still wearing them, huh?
I bought a new pair like last week, and they came in the mail. He opened them up and he said, I don't need these.
Yeah, there you go. You're going to have to kidnap and murder the old ones.
Yes, they're going to magically disappear.
Unfortunately, I used to spirit things away to the garbage can myself. But lately, I've been having a series of unfortunate events concerning the garbage and recycling cans.
Uh-oh.
Well, I'm not sure what's going on with me out there, but I seem to have lost my coordination skills. And the last time I went out with the recycling, the lid came down on my arm, and I have a bruise that runs from my halfway up my arm to my elbow. I'm not even sure how I did it, but
let's go back and discuss your coordination skills.
I have none. Zero.
What was there to lose?
Well, I used to be able to at least open up a trash can. I mean, I used to at least be able to manage that. What's wrong with me? I just this should not require a mechanical engineer to open up the garbage can and have it stay open. I don't know, maybe there was a high wind or something that I didn't notice. Maybe it's like sailing. You have to tack with your recycling can at just the right angle down the alley. I don't know. I used to be able to throw stuff out. That's all I know. And now I have to depend on the kindness of spouses. Darling, I have to say, would y'all mind taking my garbage?
Are you holding a turnip while you're doing that? Little hair.
I'm making some dresses out of curtains, darling. Would y'all mind taking this recycling out to the alley? Well, thank you. I mean, that's what it's come to now.
I'm looking around. I got some very interesting curtains to send you.
I don't want to wear your curtains. I do not want to wear your curtains. And that's final.
Blinds.
That would require
blinds.
Oh, that's another thing. I've decided that the blind making industry is some kind of weird racket. The shelf life of window blinds now. I mean, used to be. This is me sounding really. Used to be, you could buy a set of window blinds and they lasted as long as you lived in the house. And now I buy a pair of window blinds for the bedroom, and seems like a year later none of them work. Yeah.
I want to get rid of all of them. I'm so over them. They snap so easily and they're twisted backwards. And then you try to twist them back the other way. And then you've got a piece of window blind in your hand.
Yeah, I was going to say they're now sharp like razor blades.
Yeah.
You have to wear protective gloves to open up the window blinds when they get sticky.
Yeah, they're just, I'm thinking about switching to shades, blackout shades in every single room of my
I like sleep so much that I have window blinds and curtains on all my bedroom windows so that not one little photon of light can sneak through. It does mean that I trip over the dog about 6 times a week, but I regard that as worthwhile if it preserves my sleep. So,
you know what? I finally broke down and bought these silky little sleep masks that feel really good on your eyes because they're silk. And it doesn't let any kind of air come through or light. But then I found out that I take that off during the night and I can never find them in the morning.
Oh.
They're either in the bed, under the bed, stuck in the blinds.
I'm surprised they haven't become cat toys.
No, they're too big to be cat toys, but they work.
I'm afraid.
Definitely work.
If I had something on my face when I fell asleep, I would probably end up strangled with it by morning. I just would not be able to. I don't hold still. I'm kind of like a human pinwheel in my sleep.
I wouldn't know because I'm sleeping.
No, I know. I
only know what Frankie says, and I don't believe him. he's the snorer. He's the wild sleeper.
He's going to tape you one of these days. He's going to record you now. You be
So
careful.
Now you gave him an idea.
First, there's going to be the video of you with the pants falling down, and then there's going to be the audio of you snoring away, and that is what awaits the listeners to the She Said What podcast. I predict it now. Assuming you've come this far because you enjoy the podcast, may we recommend my book, She Said What? A Life on the Air. It's available at your neighborhood bookstore or on Amazon. And if you're feeling especially generous, please leave the podcast a good review. Thanks.